So, we've basically hit on the big guys. Matt Dickerson was re-signed to the Dolphins. I don't think any of us really have much of an opinion on that guy. He went like
Ooh.
Anthony said, like Anthony said in our group chat. This is the guy who, when we went through our season breakdown, after the season, Matt Dickerson didn't even get an honorable mention. Like, we didn't even say his name. So look, he's a nice depth piece. Welcome back, Matt Dickerson. I wouldn't be able to pick you out of a lineup, but excited to have you here. Next is Quinton Bell, a guy who was a depth piece on the edge for us this past year. 29 years old, start of the season. He's kind of been a practice squad guy, bouncing around from place to place.
By the way, just one thing on him I wanted to say. Sorry.
Yeah.
This feels like it's like a Weaver project to me. It feels like this is somebody he's trying to coach up, because Quinton Bell played barely any downs for anybody he ever played for, and then he played 17 games for us last year. So I think, Weaver's looking at this guy as, maybe I can coach him up into a solid contributor.
Yeah, he was big on special teams, though.
Yeah, and he did play some defensive snaps, especially towards the end of the season, and he held his own. I will say that for him. He held his own. He's not a guy. I don't think any of us want to see him on the field too often this year, because that means one of Bradley Chubb or Jalen Phillips or Chop Robinson has gotten hurt again. He's not a guy we want to see too much of, but if we see him 5 to 10 snaps a game, I'm not going to be upset.
He's a good take-a-breather guy. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Anybody else have any thoughts on Quinton Bell? Okay.
0.
We're gonna move on to a guy who the Dolphins re-signed this morning, Tyrell Dodson. Now, Tyrell Dodson came in mid-season after being cut by the Seattle Seahawks. Wasn't a fit there. He spent 4 years in Buffalo terrorizing us, and then he went to Seattle. Came to Miami last year, played 8 games for us, and did a decent job of stepping in when the Dolphins cut David Long Jr. And he kind of split time with he played next to Jordan Brooks and split time with Anthony Harris. And again, decent job, admirable job, kind of a third linebacker type of guy, in my opinion. I don't think we want to go into the season with him as our starter, but I like having him on the roster. Taylor, do you have any thoughts on Tyrell Dodson?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this signing here. Dre Greenlaw was somebody that Miami was reportedly after. He ends up going to Denver. Hufanga also goes to Denver, so they just picked up a few players that a bunch of Miami fans wanted, including us.
At those guys who are already solid defense.
Yeah,
Denver's doing some stuff,
man.
Yeah.
But Dodson, you look at, I think all 4 of us here were impressed with what we saw at Dodson. It's like a nice, let's bring him back. Let's see what he could really do as at least a backup option, possibly the linebacker too. But I will say, you do look at his stats whenever he got to Seattle and then with Miami. It's a pretty good season overall.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is a pretty good season overall. I guess it wasn't a fit in Seattle. I'm not entirely sure why they cut him loose.
It seemed like it was a shock move.
Well, I don't think they know what they were doing.
Well, we cut loose David Long Jr. because he was really, really bad. And Anthony, especially, you had pointed out, after every game, how many tackles this guy missed. He was really bad. So we had reasons. What were Seattle's reasons? I don't know. Anthony, what are your thoughts on Tyrell Dodson?
Yeah, I love the move. I was really hoping we'd bring him back. I mean, geez, the guy had he had 3 interceptions for us. He barely played. His first game, he intercepted the ball. It was insane. It was great. A great depth piece. I don't know if I would mind him starting or not. We didn't see him as a starter for us, really, so I don't really have an opinion on that. I would love to add more depth there. We obviously need to. We only have Dodson and Brooks right now. Playing linebacker for us, but
we have Anthony Harris too, I think, right?
Well, we had Anthony Walker Jr., but he's
Anthony Walker. Anthony Walker,
yeah, he's a free agent. Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I thought he was coming back. All right.
Not
So
yet.
Josh, what are your thoughts on Tyrell Dodson?
He was one of the few that of our free agents that I wanted back unequivocally. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think could he start at LB2? Sure. Do you want him to? Probably not. Right.
Yeah.
But he's a great depth piece. He's, to Anthony's point, his first game on the field, I think it was like the second week after we acquired him off waiver wires. He has an interception. He always seems to be around the ball. He's put up pretty good statistics in previous years. It was a shock when Seattle cut him, right? And I think Seattle, they were doing some crazy things, right, with their linebacker room specifically. They cut him. They traded a fourth for some guy.
And it worked out. That's so wild about it. Like, they had Jerome Baker. They end up with Tyrell Dodson as well, and then they end up trading Jerome Baker for Ernest Jones the fourth.
Mm-hmm.
And Ernest Jones ends up being a great linebacker, but for some reason they let go with Dodson. It's such a wild turn of events that Seattle still ended up working out with him. And
I think it worked out for us too, because I think we got a solid player, right? Again, in my opinion, not a full-time starter yet. I'm not saying he can't be. But we got a solid player, and I was really bummed that if we weren't gonna re-sign him.
I can't believe he had 107 tackles last year.
Yeah.
Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
And the only 3 interceptions of his career came with the Dolphins.
Nailed it.
He likes his defense, apparently.
Yeah. All right. So, that was a good signing. So out there in the chat, I know there's not many people joining us in live right now, but in the comments, please leave your thoughts on the free agents, your thoughts on these guys. We will comment back. We'll be checking the comments. And please let us know what you think about these guys.